In this lesson, we will see how to insert links in HTML. A link, or also known as hyperlink, it's a word or group of words that you can click on to jump to another HTML document or a website. By default, the links are blue and underlined text. To create a link in HTML, we need to use the so-called anchor element. To write it, we need to write the A tag. The A tag is a pair element consisted of an opening and a closing tag, and it is inserted inside the body element. One of the most important attributes of the anchor element is the href attribute, which is used to set the destination of the link, so where we want to go when we click that link. So in the value of the href attribute, we need to set the path. The path can be an absolute URL or a relative URL. The difference is that the absolute URL is a link to an external website. On the other hand, the relative URL is a link to a page in the same website. So first, we will see how to insert an absolute link. To do that, we need to type the full address of the website we want to visit. In this case, let's visit the Google web page. After inserting the full address of the site, we need to set the text of the link. The text is inserted between the opening and the closing tag of the anchor element, so we will call it Google. And now let's see the results in the web browser. So here we have our link with the text Google, and the text is blue and underlined. And as we hover over the text, the cursor turns into a little hand. So this tells you that this is a link in HTML. So if you see a blue underlined text in a web page, that means that the text is a link, and when we click it, it will take us to the Google web page. So this was how to insert an absolute link in an HTML page. Now let's see how to insert a relative link. As I said, the relative link is a link which takes the user to a page in the same site. So first, let's create a new HTML document. We will call it sample.html. So make sure that you have the HTML or the HTML extension. And now go to the main index page and copy the HTML page and paste it in the new sample file. Now we will just remove the anchor element, and we will insert one heading element with the text Hello World, and one paragraph element with the text You have visited a linked page. Now save it and go back to the main index page. So now you may wonder, how do we set the path to this sample.html file? You may think that the path should be set like this, by typing c:/users and so on, similar to the Windows path. But that's not the case with HTML. If we see the path of our source folder, we will see that the path on Windows starts from the C partition. So why is that? Well, because the folder in which the installation is located of the operating system is stored in the C partition. So the path begins from the folder in which the installation folder is located. In this case, the C partition. If we have installed the operating system in the D, E, or whatever partition, the path would begin from that partition. The same goes for the other operating systems. So the path begins from the source folder, or as Linux users call it, root folder. So in this case, in HTML, the path begins from the folder in which the file we are currently working is located. And because we are working in the main index file, the source folder, the root folder, will be the folder in which the main index file is located. So that folder is the HTML5 folder. So in HTML, the path doesn't begin from the partition of the operating system, but from the source folder or the root folder where the file is located. So now you may think that the path is like this: html5/index.html. So now let's save it, and also let's change the text of the link to my page. And now let's see the results in the browser. So here we have our link with the index.html page set as destination target. But when we click the link now, we will get the message that we cannot get /html5/index.html. So why is that? That's because you see the first slash in the path represents the source folder. So it checks in the source folder, then in the HTML5 folder checks for the index.html file. So in the source folder, which is the HTML5 folder, looks for another HTML5 folder, and then inside it looks for the index.html page. Same in the address bar. The IP address represents the source folder. Then in the path goes the HTML5 folder, and lastly the main index.html file. So the path we have set is HTML5, then inside the HTML5 another HTML5 folder, and inside it the index.html file. So now the path looks like this: html5/html5/index.html. But if we see in our source folder, we don't have any HTML5 folder, and the main index.html file is located in the source folder. So this path is wrong. What we need to insert is only the index.html file. And if we try to do that, we will automatically get a suggestion to set the path from the brackets editor. Why is that? Well, because the web engine or the web browser knows already which is the source folder of the current HTML file we are currently working on. So that's why we don't need to tell the browser again which is the source code. And that's why we just need to insert the sample.html file, because it is located in the same source folder as with the main index file. And now let's see the results in the browser. So here we have our My Page link, and when we click now on the link, it will take us to the sample.html page, which is located in the source folder, and it has the heading Hello World and a paragraph You have visited a linked page. So this is how you will insert a relative link. But the anchor element is so powerful that not only allows you to set an absolute link and relative link, it allows you also to link to a single HTML element in the same page or in a different web page. That allows you to focus the page to the linked element in the anchor element. To do that, first go to the sample.html page and make a couple of copies of the heading element. And now look for the paragraph element we have inserted earlier, and now set the ID of that paragraph element to wherever you want. So we will use the ID attribute to give an identity to the paragraph element. We will set the ID to my bookmark. Now go back to the main index page, and to set the page to open to that element now, first we'll need to insert the page that contains that element. In this case, that is the sample.html page, which we have already inserted in the anchor element. And now, after writing the sample.html page in the href attribute, insert a hashtag. The hashtag tells the web browser that the text after the hashtag will be the ID of the element in which we will focus the page. So after the hashtag, type the ID of the paragraph element. In this case, that will be the My Bookmark. So now, first it will look for the sample.html page, and then it will look for the My Bookmark element in the sample.html page. But first, let's remove the ID with the hashtag and test the page in the browser to see how it looks without the ID. So here we have our My Page link, and when we click it, we will get the page with lots of heading elements, and at the bottom we have the paragraph element which contains the ID. So the page was focused on top of the page. So the page was focused on the first element, in this case the first heading element with the text Hello World. But now let's try and focus the page on the paragraph element. To focus the page on the paragraph element, we will add the ID to the paragraph element to the link of the sample HTML page. And now, when we click on the My Page link, the focus of the page was on the paragraph element with the ID My Bookmark. So when the page loaded, the scroll was on the bottom of the page. In the previous example, the page focused at the very top on the first heading element, but this time it focused straight down at the bottom on the paragraph element with the ID my bookmark. So this way of bookmarking and linking, it's used in very popular websites, like Wikipedia for example. But not only we can bookmark an element located in an external web page, we can also bookmark element located in the same web page. So go to the sample.html page and copy the body and paste it in the main index page, right after the link. So now to bookmark the same element with the ID my bookmark in the same page, we just need to remove the sample.html and set only the hashtag with the ID of the paragraph. So when we run the page and click on the link, it will be focused straight down to the paragraph element. So let's see the results in the web browser. So here we have our main index file with the heading element and the paragraph element and the link too. And now if we click on the My Page link, it will take us straight down to the paragraph element. So the page will be focused to the paragraph element. And as you see in the web address, the hashtag with the My Bookmark ID is added to the address. That's because we are currently in that page. The last thing I want to show you before ending this tutorial lesson is the target attribute of the anchor element. The target attribute, it is used to set the target of where to open the anchor link. So wherever we want to open in the same page, or in a new tab, or in a new window. For example, to open it in the same page, we can type _self. Or to open it in a new tab, we type _blank. So we will use the _blank to open the link in a new tab. And this way, the page will be focused to the paragraph element with the ID my bookmark. So now let's see the results in the browser. So here we have our My Page link with the heading element and the paragraph element, and when we click the link has opened it in a new tab with the focus on the paragraph element. So by using the _blank target, the link will be opened in a new tab. That way we will prevent losing some information in the main page. The last thing I want to tell you about the anchor element is the 3 different states of the anchor element. So the anchor element, depending of the current interactivity with the user, has 3 different states. So it has normal state, in which the link is not visited yet, the active state, which happens when we click the link, and visited state, when we have already visited the link. And with every state, we have different style on the anchor element. So now let's see the three different states in the web browser. So here, first we have the normal state, where the link is colored blue and underlined. The second state is when we click the link, and then the link turns red. And the third state is when we have already visited the link, and in that state the link is colored purple. So now you are ready to start writing links in HTML. Now you know how to insert a relative link, an absolute link, and how to insert a bookmarked link. And you also know the three different styles in the three different states of the anchor element, which you can easily style with CSS.